Thankfully, the trees don't look to be like, they look like they're holding up okay right now. But I think in the fog of this storm, we're not, look at the wind right there, David. This is a 610 West Loop at the Katy Freeway. Let's just stay the pipeline. Again, this is high impact right now along the Katy Freeway through downtown Houston. All of the neighborhoods on the north side of I-10 inside the loop are under the gun right now when it comes to this significant windstorm. And again, we are sampling winds over 120 miles per hour, about 1,000 feet above the ground. And so we're going to see very strong winds hit the skyscrapers, and we're likely getting winds gusting. I wouldn't be surprised if they were hitting 100 miles per hour at ground level right now.
And I tell you what, Travis, some of the people are getting the message because these two roads here, very close to the camera, there's not very many cars on it right now, but you do see on the main lanes up there that there are still cars on the elevated section there of the West Loop or the Katy Freeway, one of the two that's having to brave this incredible storm. I did want to show you really quickly on our Max 2 that this circulation, the broad circulation that prompted the tornado warning, which is still in effect, is still intact. You see it moving from the northwest to the south and east. It is broad rotation. It's not extremely tight, so it might not be actually producing a tornado right now, Travis, but it really doesn't have to produce a tornado when you've got damaging straight line winds on the backside of that circulation where you see that darker blue color coming in at over 100 miles an hour is what we're seeing on the radar display. And even if you drop that down just a little bit as you get closer to the ground, that's still an 80 mile an hour destructive wind that's coming right through the heart of the city. So this is a destructive thunderstorm for sure. We've got another camera shot to show you there.
Look at them they're trying to get out of harm's way, and they need to do that right there. Bottom right corner, that's downtown. That's downtown right now, David. Look at those winds.
That is incredible.
Let's pull that one full screen if we can.
And these are people, Travis, some of these people were trying to get to the baseball game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And maybe caught off guard if they weren't in the loop paying attention.
Who is prepared for an 80 mile an hour wind in downtown Houston? Not very many people. And that's what these people are having to deal with as this destructive thunderstorm moves through. Those extreme winds extend pretty far to the north and west as well. So you're going to see 60 to 80 mile an hour winds gusting for a good 15, 20 minutes before the core of this storm moves on to the east of your particular location. So destructive thunderstorm warning continues. The tornado warning continues, Travis, until 6:45.
And David, we just got word that there are now 340,000 CenterPoint customers without power. I mentioned a moment ago it might double or triple. We just doubled what we had earlier, and it's probably going to go up from here with these kinds of winds raking across the heart of Houston. And another thing, David, we talk about this, the downtown buildings, they act like a funnel. So the winds accelerate even more around those buildings of downtown because the air runs into them and has to go around. And you get even stronger winds. And so I imagine that we may be seeing some fairly significant damage to some of the downtown communities and skyscrapers with this kind of a windstorm coming through at this hour.
And some of the upper floors of some of these buildings, when you have winds above 60 miles an hour, and especially when they approach 80 or above, they can contain debris, Travis. They can then go into some of these windows and cause some of them to shatter. So you think you might be in a safe place. You're in an upper floor in one of these large high rises. You want to get to a lower floor because if the wind doesn't blow that window out, some debris could strike it and cause it to burst.
And here is I-69, the East Tex Freeway at Texas Avenue. So this, again, is near downtown as well. You see folks moving around in the parking garage down there. That's a good place to be. I'm sorry? Yeah, this is right near Minute Maid Park, and I guarantee you that folks are running for cover right now if they were caught outside in this. Again, a destructive thunderstorm warning. It's a rare type of warning, the highest level severe thunderstorm warning that you can get. And the map shows that this storm continues to just race across the city of Houston. Things are starting to calm down a little bit on the west side, but now it's the east side's turn to get these really strong winds. So right along the Houston Ship Channel, all the communities there, we are seeing the wind really begin to pick up right now. Baytown, get ready. It's coming for you. Mont Bellevue, you're in the pipeline as well for these incredibly strong winds. Pasadena, it's coming for you. This destructive severe thunderstorm warning runs until 7. We're probably going to see a new warning get issued shoot downstream because I think they may have underestimated the wind speed just a little bit. It's almost 6:30 and the storms have already cleared through most of the warned part. But that's what happens when you have winds that are moving at that incredible speed. That means the storms are moving along at that same speed. And David, when you were showing the velocity earlier and just the large rotation, it just reminded me that this is basically a gigantic rotating thunderstorm over the city of Houston. And what we are experiencing right now across the city are what we call straight line winds. And if we have any more pictures we can put up to show folks at home that are downstream about what's coming their way so that we can see this. All right, this is the West Loop at I-10, and that's an improved picture.
Looks better.
Yes. A lot better. Okay, so the severe part of the winds have already cleared now. It looks like the West Loop. It's still raining heavily. We're going to have street flooding, but from downtown eastward, this is our picture from downtown. We're looking at, I believe, at a parking lot. So we're seeing the heavy rain. Just right outside Minute Maid Park, you see little debris from trees that have been rattled off, little twigs in here, rolling around like tumbleweeds at this hour. This is what happens when you have winds gust over 80 miles per hour. And even this picture that we showed you just a few moments ago looks a little bit improved. And looks like we have a new tornado warning. David, do you have the latest on that?
We've got a new tornado warning there, Travis, and it's been extended out until 7 p.m. I can put it back on here just to show you where that tornado warning is located. So we had an old tornado warning that goes until 6:45. That one is still in place. And then we've got a new tornado warning that has been issued here for a huge area. And that's what I'm circling right here. There's the new tornado warning, which originates over downtown Houston and then extends all the way out to the south and southeast. So I can read some of the communities that are in the path of this rotation, and that's going to be, the warning is for northwestern Galveston County, northeastern Brazoria County, and southeastern Harris County. This dangerous storm will be near Pasadena, Deer Park, South Houston, and Galena Park. Now, we just had we just took a power hit at ABC13. One of the good things about working here as a meteorologist and as broadcasters is that there is a huge diesel generator out back that just kicked in a moment ago. So our studio went dark there just for about, I would say about 3 seconds. Now the lights are back on because a big generator more than likely just kicked back on. So back to these cities, Galena Park, Jacinto City, Cloverleaf, Clear Lake, Channelview, Greater Hobby Airport, and South Belt, Ellington around 6:40, and then Western Baytown and San Jacinto State Park around 6:45, Webster, Morgan's Point, and the Johnson Space Center at 6:50 is where this rotation appears to be going at this particular time. Now, Travis talked about the incredible wind field that is associated with this storm, and we can actually measure it. I can do a distance here and just show you the severe winds and how far they extend with this storm. And you're talking about 20 miles apart there, Travis.
They've got the debris tracker pulled up right now, and I do think we are seeing a little debris ball that has popped up. So here, I'm going to circle it for you. This is a zone. This is our debris tracker, and it looks like we may have a debris. This little this little blue ball that you see right here on the northeast corner of Loop 610. I'm going to go backwards in time, and you can kind of track it. You'll see the near Jersey Village. We see this pocket of blue as I go forward in time. There it is on the north side, and it keeps on moving southeastward. So we may very well have some sort of a little tornado spinning up along the leading edge of where all that rotation is occurring. So the debris tracker is potentially picking up on a tornado there on the northeast corner of Loop 610. When I go back over to our velocity mode, what I'll show you there is, there we go. This is our velocity mode. And there's basically just this gigantic rotating storm moving through the city that is producing these destructive winds. And where you see that patch of bright blue, it's right there where we're seeing the potential debris on the northeast corner. Right there where you see that blue coming together with the red, there's a little tiny blue area that has popped up on our debris tracker, which may be indicative of the debris from a tornado embedded within the larger wind field. So with these rotating thunderstorms, and David can tell you more than anyone with all the chasing he's done, on the south side of that rotation, you get what's called a rear flank downdraft. It's the storm breathing out these really gusty winds. That's what's just come right down Highway 290 and through downtown Houston. And we, again, may be seeing a tornado here on the north part of that little curve that is right along Highway 90. So up 90, and this is going to continue to work work its way in that easterly direction. So from Channelview to Crosby, everywhere in between, be on the lookout for the possibility of a tornado embedded with those very strong winds.
And Travis, the circulation with the potential tornado there is somewhat small, but that's a 20-mile wide area experiencing damaging straight line wind. And we just got a report there of 477,000 customers now without power due to this destructive thunderstorm that is moving through southeast Texas right now. Tornado warning continues until 7 p.m. That's for that very small area of rotation you were showing there just a moment ago. But most of Harris County is experiencing a destructive, severe thunderstorm with winds, Travis, 80, maybe even higher miles an hour. That's causing all kinds of problems.
Just incredible. And for our producers, if y'all could get a handle on cameras located along the Beltway, anything on everything's out right now? Okay, so if you can find anything, if they come back online, the Beltway, the Fred Hartman Bridge, again, folks from Channelview to Baytown to Mont Belvieu, there's not much time left to get into a safe place and gather all the family together. Let the family and friends out that are not in your home know that this is on its way. Now, for those of you on the west side, it's already come on through. You may have noticed the wind has slowed down. It's still raining very heavily, but what we are showing you are the Doppler winds and that very large circulation. The bright blues, that's the radar detecting wind speeds over 90 miles per hour. When you get to the purples, that's over 100 miles per hour. Now, this is above the ground, so this is 500 to 1,000 feet above the ground where we're sampling this, but those gusts are getting down, very strong gusts of at least 80 miles per hour. This is a rare destructive thunderstorm warning that we have ongoing right now. And you measured it, David, you said 20 miles wide of destructive winds right now.
Area of destructive winds, Travis, and we've been showing the Doppler radar out of Bush Airport, the terminal Doppler. No more. It is not putting out data anymore. We believe the winds took that out at least 10 to 15 minutes ago. The severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 7 p.m. This is the destructive thunderstorm warning for 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Severe thunderstorms are located along the line from near Porter Heights to Spring to East Little York, Homestead to Independence Heights to Midwest, moving east at over 40 miles an hour, more than likely moving up around 60 miles an hour.
And David, I've been here 18 years. You've been here over 20 years. Can you remember ever, outside of a hurricane, a windstorm like this coming through the city of Houston in all your years?
Not this big across. We've seen some microbursts. We've seen some small downburst winds that get up to 80 miles an hour. We've never seen a storm quite this big moving through the city of Houston. I've referenced the storm last year that had 90-mile-an-hour winds with it. That was a smaller area than what we're seeing right now. So there's really almost no way to get out of the way of this thing if it's coming in, moving towards you at 60 with winds up to 80, potentially higher than that.
And that windstorm last summer was in June, right? We had a 97-mile-per-hour wind gust measured at Bush Intercontinental Airport, the strongest wind ever measured there, and that took out the power in those communities around Spring for a week. And I'm concerned that we may see something similar in some neighborhoods around Houston, Harris County that may be without power for several days when you have these kinds of winds coming through and damaging the infrastructure. On the bottom right corner of your screen, we are looking from our tower cam down at the retail shopping center outside ABC13. You can see the rain still coming down, but the winds have certainly improved here, at least on our part of town. And the upper right is someone outside the station, just outside the station, getting a view of those storms. So the most significant, impactful part of this storm is now hitting the east belt of Houston. So Jacinto City, Galena Park, Channelview, North Shore, this is impacting you right now, if not already, and it's going to continue to work its way eastward. The core of those strong winds look like they're just going to travel almost eastward along Interstate 10 at this time, and there is the potential of a tornado embedded in there as well. So we are beginning to see some improvements in the wind part of this. West of I-45, east of I-45 is now the focus for where we have the destructive, damaging winds and the potential for a tornado embedded within that 20-mile wide zone of strong winds that David was telling you about.
Hey, Travis, if we can take Max 2 there on the left-hand side and take that, I've circled the area where the potential tornado is. It is getting very close to Channelview at this particular time. So right where Interstate 10 and the east belt come together is where this circulation is located. I've circled it there in red. You can see it right about there. Now, the rest of this is severe thunderstorms. as we speak, and eventually it's going to move towards Baytown and LaPorte, and it's moving into Channelview as we speak as well. This circulation here near Channelview appears to be intensifying just a bit, and I'm going to give a closer diagnosis of what's happening with that in just a moment. In the upper right-hand portion of your screen, we've got a tree down in downtown Houston, and you can see the rain currents that continue to move there along the road with that tree down at this particular time. So that just goes to show you how strong the winds are, and the visual there, as you look at that camera shot, it looks just like what you see if a tropical storm or a low-end hurricane is moving through the city of Houston. You see the rain curtains moving across the street at this time, and you see that tree that has been uprooted because of these winds, and with 477,000 people without power, I would have to believe that there are a lot of people, a lot of trees down across the area at this time. Now, my producer was just telling me something just a moment ago. What was that, power poles? Okay, so where that tree is down, there's also a light pole that appears to be toppled from the winds as well. So these are some powerful, powerful winds that are moving through downtown Houston, actually approaching Channelview as we speak. There appears to be a circulation center there as well. And this entire line here, if it's not producing a tornado, is certainly producing some damaging straight line winds. So that little couplet there that I have circled appears to be tightening up just a little bit in the vicinity of Channelview.
I do think it is. And David, we have a domed roof here on our studio. It's a miniature prototype of the Astrodome. We're hearing some weird noises going on right now, and I haven't heard things like this since Hurricane Ike. I mean, we're getting some leaks in the roof and things like that. So we got a lot going on here that we're dealing with behind the scenes as well. Just like I know folks at home are dealing with a lot of damage coming through. And we just got a new severe destructive thunderstorm warning. So let's tap on that one. So this is a new for downstream. Okay, so this is the new warning. It runs until 7:15. It includes Chambers, Harris, and Liberty counties, Baytown, Deer Park, LaPorte, Pasadena. You are included in this, and there's also the possibility of a tornado as well. The west side of Houston has been trimmed from the destructive thunderstorm warning. And that lightning bolt that just hit right there, we could feel it vibrating the ground underneath our feet. And this is a look at those Doppler winds, and it's important to note that it might look like it's weakening because we're losing some of the purples, but it's becoming perpendicular to the radar beam that's coming there out of League City and Dickinson. So to get the true wind speed, the storm has to be coming right at the radar. Well, it's about to move perpendicular, and so it looks like it's weakening, but it is not. What it is, though, giving us, David, is I believe you're spot on, that we're seeing some tightening up of that circulation, as you were mentioning, in the vicinity of Channelview. So we may be seeing a tornado embedded within this line of damaging winds. So you don't have much time left to prepare in LaPorte, Deer Park, Baytown, Channelview. It is coming in, and it is coming in furiously. We've been showing you the pictures of what's happened. Look at the sign right there on the top right-hand corner of your screen. San Jacinto Street sign bent around. So this is definitely causing damage all across the city of Houston, north of Interstate 10 especially, and then all the communities along and north of I-10 in the eastern part of the county. You are experiencing it right now. I imagine that we're going to see those center point power outages exceed 500,000, maybe get closer to 750,000 with the way that this is trending right now. So this storm is essentially like a fast-moving hurricane coming through the northern half of Houston and Harris County. And these colors that we show you, there's just basically this gigantic rotating thunderstorm with the potential of a tornado somewhere in the vicinity of Channelview. Earlier we saw the debris. We saw signs of debris. Not seeing that so much anymore, but certainly this is not something to be taken lightly as this storm continues to roar across the city of Houston and Harris County. And this is it. So once this clears on through, we are in good shape. David, I see you got a paper in your hand right there. What are you reading and analyzing?
Just the particulars of this latest severe thunderstorm warning, Travis. It is a destructive thunderstorm warning, as we were talking about a moment ago. So the winds are still being estimated at or above 80 miles an hour. Okay. The forward speed, according to the National Weather Service, has increased now to 50 miles an hour. We were thinking that all along, that these storms storms are really howling fast to the south and east at about 50 miles an hour. We still do have that circulation that appears to be in the vicinity of Channelview right now. Those of you in Channelview, go ahead and take cover. And those of you all along the path of this particular storm, you want to take cover as well because of this destructive thunderstorm that is moving through. Travis, we continue to get pictures in here to the weather center of some of the destruction that is going on. We've got power poles down. We've got trees down. There is a lot going on with this destructive thunderstorm that is moving through southeast Texas right now. The severe thunderstorm warning goes now until 7:15 for 80-mile-per-hour damaging straight-line winds. The leading edge of those winds are right over Deer Park. They're east of Pasadena, which you're still experiencing a severe thunderstorm in Pasadena, and you're still experiencing a severe thunderstorm just east of downtown Houston as well, right around the East Loop at this time. Those destructive winds, Travis, are approaching LaPorte at this time, and before long they're going to be into Baytown as well. This is a powerful thunderstorm that you want to make sure that if it is a tornado warning, you want to treat this as a tornado warning, even if your phone says severe thunderstorm warning. Whenever you get to the point of having a destructive thunderstorm like this, it could potentially be a situation that feels just like a tornado, and it can do the same type of damage.
Yeah, and we have some video coming in of potential funnel clouds. We don't know if a tornado has touched down. What we do know, David, is significant damage is now.
Warning. You want to treat this as a tornado warning, even if your phone says severe thunderstorm warning. Whenever you get to the point of having a destructive thunderstorm like this, it could potentially be a situation that feels just like a tornado, and it can do the same type of damage.
Yeah, and we have some video coming in of potential funnel clouds. We don't know if a tornado has touched down. What we do know, David, is significant damage is now being reported. We have transmission lines that are down along the Grand Parkway and West Road. So when that storm was first blasting into Harris County, it has down transmission lines. Those are some serious winds. Friction and drag. And so this destructive severe thunderstorm warning continues. Just got a update that there are now 630,000 CenterPoint customers without power. That number is going to continue to climb. Again, this is the equivalent of a mini hurricane roaring through Houston and Harris County with high impacts along and north of Interstate 10. If you're wondering, this is the latest tornado warning, but it almost doesn't matter because we have this much larger warning called a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. So let me turn off the tornado warning and pull the view out. This is issued when we have winds expected to hit 80 miles per hour or greater. Okay, we've seen samples from radars of 120 mile per hour winds, 1,000 feet or so above the ground, and we're expecting that those kinds of winds, if you just reduce it a bit, that 80 miles per hour might even be too low based on the damage that we are seeing. Again, transmission lines are down across parts of Harris County at the Grand Parkway, Highway 99, and West Road. So I imagine we're going to continue to get reports of some fairly significant damage that this storm has caused. This again is a destructive severe thunderstorm warning. It's the highest level of a severe thunderstorm warning, only issued when you get winds 80 miles per hour or greater, or when you have baseball-sized hail coming down. And in this case, it is the wind aspect of this storm. The winds have settled down across the majority of Houston. The strongest winds are now basically along and outside the Beltway. So between the East Loop and the East Belt, we're getting those really strong winds coming through. And I'm going to go a little sample. I'll get this sample pulled up. We have some video coming in right now. James, tell me again where that video is coming in from. This is this is in the community of Prairie View. Okay, so this is Prairie View. Perhaps is this the university? This is along Highway 290 as the storms came through Waller County. You can see some significant destruction there to some of the outdoor facilities. That's video that is now coming in. Things have improved there, certainly, but the damage has been done at this time. Okay, and again, we're losing some of our radars because of how strong the winds are taking things out. We were looking at the winds from Bush Airport. That Doppler radar has been taken out, and that was in the direct path of those significant winds that downed those transmission transmission lines there on the northwestern part of Harris County. Okay, so that's the video from Prairie View. Let me get you back to the radar view. I want to sample some of the numbers that are coming in, and we're still, this is the radar that comes out of Hobby Airport. It's still picking up some hurricane force winds and seeing this sign of rotation. And then when we go to the big workhorse, this is the Weather Service radar that is operated by the National Weather Service. This one is we're kind of don't have the best view, because the way that Doppler technology works is as that beam goes out, see how it's pointing due north at the line of storms? It's looking for wind moving toward or away from the radar beam. And so with the storm motion going now perpendicular to the radar beam, we're not sampling the strongest wind. So whatever it's showing here, and it's showing winds of 75, 80 miles per hour, they're likely much stronger than that as this continues to just tear its way eastward down I-10, now impacting Baytown and LaPorte, Crosby, Mont Belvieu. You are in the pipeline for this. Anahuac, this is coming your way as well. And if you live along Trinity Bay, this storm is coming your way. And if you're on the east side of Trinity Bay, like Anahuac, you're probably going to get even stronger winds, because as David Tillman pointed out, there's just not enough friction to slow those winds down. It's just open air. And so you can get some really strong winds coming on the east side of that bay as this storm just roars on off to the east. David, what you seeing over there?
I want to show you this display that we typically show you quite a bit here at ABC 13, and it's our traditional wind display across Southeast Texas, and it's showing where the winds are really strong out there at this particular time, and it really does a good job of showing everybody where the strongest winds are, and I can kind of infer as far as where those strong winds are going. You can see the latest wind gust down to the airport there in Tomball, 52 miles an hour, 45 in Katy, 25 in Sealy, 62 at Bush Airport, 25 there in Humble, 32 in Sugar Land. So it's that massive red that you see that is the severe thunderstorm that's moving across the region. In between the airports are going to be wind gusts a whole lot higher than that. You can best believe that, but we certainly do have winds gusting to 60 and 80 miles an hour moving right through the city. Those winds are moving just about like this. So crossing Pasadena, eventually making it across Galveston Bay and Trinity Bay, and eventually making it into parts of Chambers County. Southern parts of Liberty County might get clipped by this as well. But the core of these winds are right over Harris County, and they are causing all kinds of damage at this particular time. I want to go back to the radar display just to give you an outlook of what is happening overall in Southeast Texas right now. And what we have is a destructive line of thunderstorms moving through Southeast Texas. There's a tremendous amount of lightning with it. We've got a special marine warning now in effect for Galveston and Trinity Bay. We've got a small tornado warning, and we've got this huge, Travis, destructive thunderstorm warning that is in effect. I can pause this and zoom all the way in and just give you a better look at where things are really bad. It appears that the really bad part of the storm extends from Crosby down to Mont Belvieu. It's making it into Mont Belvieu right now. It is the leading edge of it has made it over towards the Baytown area, and then extends to the south and west. We still have a destructive thunderstorm warning in effect for the city of Houston as well. And then as we go down into parts of Fort Bend County, no destructive thunderstorm warning or tornado warning, but certainly torrential rain, and there's a tremendous amount of lightning that is occurring in those particular regions as we zoom in there. We can zoom into the channel view area, and Travis, I'm going to do one more thing here. I'm going to see if I can hunt down this couplet and see what's happening with that. And well, we have a couple of areas here of potential concern, and I'll circle them. There's one right about there, Travis. Okay, that's I believe that's right along State Highway 146, and then there's this area right back in here as well. Sometimes these severe thunderstorms can have more than one circulation center, and so the area there on the north side of Baytown along State Highway 146 and near Highway 330 is where